Good evening, bookies. My name is Hannah, and today we are doing Top 10 Tuesdays. So today's topic is books that I've had on my read shelf that I don't remember anything about. Like, I've read them and I put them on my read shelf, but I don't remember anything about them. This could be from like books from my childhood, even books from kind of like last year. And like some of them even surprised me, because as I was going down, I was like, okay, name a scene from this, name a character, and I couldn't. So we're just gonna get right into that. Let's go. So the first book I have is When the Wind Blows by James Patterson. This is like a prequel thing to his Maximum Ride series. I was probably too young to read this book. Like, my stepmom let me read it, which I'm like fine with now, but like there's this scene, and this is literally the only part of this whole book that I remember, where they're in an elevator or something, and it's like the two characters get it on, and I'm just like, as an adult, I was like, whoa, I probably shouldn't have read that. And as a kid, I was like, I shouldn't be reading this. But that's the only thing I remember of this whole book. Next, we have The Pledge by Kimberly Durden. A couple years ago, she was my favorite author. I read her Body Finder series. I think she had another series I read. I'm not 100% sure. And then there was this series. I own 3 of these. I don't know how many are in this series. The only thing I can really remember about this book, though, is this main character. The world was separated by languages. Like, you can speak a certain language, and like it was divided by social class. So like the highest social class would speak this language, and you were allowed to understand or speak this language if you were in a lower class. And she was able to understand all the languages, and I guess it got her into some kind of trouble. That's literally the only thing I remember. I read this whole series, and that's the only thing I can remember from all 3 of these books. That's kind of sad. But I also did read this in like middle school, which was like 10 years ago. Another one that I read a long time ago, and I read this whole series, is Need by Carrie Jones. Fairies, I think. This is one of the books that my friend, like my best friend in junior high, she recommended this to me. And like, I don't remember a damn thing about this except there were fairies. Right? So the next author that I'm going to bring up, I've read a lot of her books. They're kind of standalones, and most of them I remember a good chunk of them because I like these books and I like her writing and I like just the whole genre. And it's Alex Flynn. She does fairy tale retelling. She did Beastly, A Kiss in Time. She did Cloaked. I love all those books. She did Towering. I haven't read Towering yet. I started it, but I never finished it, but I haven't given up on it. And I've read this one. But if you pointed a gun at me and said, tell me the plot of Bewitching by Alex Flynn, I would not be able to answer you. I haven't even read the summary, so I'm not even going to. But like, I have no idea what this book is about. And it's like, some of them you'll see the covers, which is really funny. I've noticed a lot of the books that I read in junior high had kind of like the same cover layout. And like, as I look back on it now, I'm just like, ooh, that's kind of cringy. Like, this is one of them, and then a couple more. So the next book on my list is The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I liked this book, but I don't remember anything about it. I know the general plot, which is more than I can say for some of these, but like, I don't remember really anything else. I know that they eat November cakes in this, and I've made November cakes like 4 or 5 times, and each time I think they're delicious. But like, if you know the premise of this book, it's literally about a race on Kelpies, like super dangerous horses. And I can't even remember who won the race. Like, I don't. I should reread it. This is one of the, like, now we're in the ones where I want to reread them just to remember, and this is probably one I should actually reread. The next book I actually read last year, and I do need to reread it because I own the second one. This series is super good. That's about the only thing I can remember from this whole series, and it's Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. And I have the second one to this now, and I thought when I finished this one, because I remember little glimpses and stuff. Like, I remember when I finished this one, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the second one. The first one was so good. And then the second one came out, and I bought it, and now I'm like, what was the first one even about? So this is one of the ones I really need to reread. So the next book I have on my list is a different genre. This is contemporary. I own 2 of these books, but I don't remember a single thing about these books. And it's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I don't remember anything of this book, and it's so sad because I own 2 of them. I mean, this one's got cute illustrations. Like, I must have been in love with it enough to buy another copy of it. But that's pretty much all I've got. That's all I've got. I don't remember anything about it. Okay, the next one, I've completely forgotten everything about it except for one really, really problematic thing for me, which is like, I'm not going to bring it up because it might be a spoiler. I don't even remember, but I'm so glad I forgot everything about this book because I hated this book. I'm surprised I still own a copy of it because I hated it that much. Is there a bookmark in here? There sure is. Melia, you're on page 380 if you ever want to finish this. But it is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I don't like this book. I remember there was a huge stir about this book on BookTube a couple years ago. And even back then I was saying that I hated this book. Like, I absolutely don't like this book, and I'm glad I forgot everything about it because I know if I'm ever going to read it again, I probably still wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm sure Morgan Rhodes, I don't want to say anything horrible because I'm sure Morgan Rhodes is not a bad writer, and I know a lot of people actually like this series, so I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I just didn't like this book, and I forgot everything about it. And I only keep it on my shelf to tell people that I don't like it. Alright, so the next book is actually by an author who's super popular. I have read one of his series, and I'm partway through another one, and I finished the series that we're going to talk about right now, and it's The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. Now, I didn't forget this book because it was bad. I forgot this book because I read it a really long time ago. And I only really remember a lot from Percy Jackson because I'm constantly kind of browsing through those, or I'm always kind of up to date on the fandom. Like, I subscribe to a couple book talkers who talk about it all the time, or like people are always talking about Percy Jackson, but I don't really hear any love about the Red Pyramid. I remember there was this one character named Bast. She's the goddess of cats. This is kind of like Percy Jackson, but it's with the Egyptian gods, and I think people are sleeping on it, but I don't remember anything else about it. And finally, we've come to book number 1. This is a huge series. I reread the first one. Yes, I've read this whole series. I reread the first one last year, so I'm not going to include it in this because I remember quite a bit from that one. But I'm going to just say I don't remember anything else from this series, the rest of the series. I don't remember anything, like nothing. It's so sad. I really do need to reread these because I did read City of Bones last year, so I've kind of got a general thing of that. Like, see, I reread it, and I marked parts that are important. So now I just need to reread the rest of the series and mark it as I go. And so, yeah, that's what I need to do with that. I'm really sad about that because, like, there was a time in my life where I was like, I'm going to get a City of Ashes, a City of Mortal Instruments tattoo, and now I don't even feel like that at all. Things change, times change. I need to reread these books. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright, that is it for Top 10 Tuesdays. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys possibly on Friday, maybe not. I am going on a vacation to Las Vegas from Thursday to Monday, so you might get another Top 10 Tuesdays on Tuesday. I might be able to get another video out on Friday and kind of schedule it so you guys aren't really missing anything. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know what I want to do about that. But hopefully you guys will get something on Top 10 Tuesdays. I'm pretty sure you will. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys later. Rock on!